What it mean to be the best? Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce, throwing bows, bend the corner, set my mind up on the goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
Boys, the vibes are back. The Chiefs are back. The Ravens are dead. Yeah. Oh boy, how you gonna talk about that?
EGE, baby.
We're almost back soon, baby. The vibes are high. The Chiefs are back to 500 after a destruction of the Ravens in a game. And I'll say I didn't see coming. I mean, I did not think that was going to be a destruction, even for as difficult as the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens were on offense. They were the number one scoring offense coming into that week. And don't let anybody lie to you and say that, we knew the Chiefs were going to destroy them. Yeah, that's why they were the favorites and everybody was picking against them. And they said that the Ravens should have handled them. Well, it didn't end up happening as the Ravens ended up destroying the Chiefs ended up destroying Baltimore and sending Lamar Jackson to the bench with a hamstring injury. Ultimately, they handled business, and it was a lot of fun. DG, CJ, vibes are high. How are you guys feeling?
EGE, baby. Everybody
put them foes up.
Everybody gotta eat.
Foe on the way.
Look, it's like I said last week. Made me look like an idiot, and that's exactly what this team did. They made me look like an idiot. That was definitely not the team that showed up in Brazil week 1, or definitely not the team that showed up week 2 against the Eagles for sure. So I don't know what happened in practice, but keep doing it because obviously it worked. Love the game plan. Wasn't expecting a blowout, but I'm glad to see the Chiefs finally come out and be the bullies this time, and basically just say from first quarter to fourth quarter, it's BTA, and they laid the belt, bro. Like it was not a game. Even if it was like 7-6, it still felt like they were still in full control of that game at that point in time. So, I think once Leo got that interception, the tables, everything turned, and it went downhill from there for Baltimore.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And obviously they had a great first opening drive. I gotta say, Will spooked me a little bit. Obviously, the Chiefs struggled a little bit to defend Derrick Henry specifically on the run out of their base personnel. But after that, they were rolling, to say the least. The Chiefs were able to hold the Ravens to 10 points in the first half, and they did much better coming out of halftime, to say the least, for the Ravens offense, which was the more impressive side of the ball as far as that was concerned, in my personal opinion. But all that being said, we're going to start out with the Chiefs offense and what we saw some juice being injected back with Mr. Xavier Worthy, who, of course, is a thumbnail for good reason. Happy to see him back on the field. And I'll say this. I want to ask you guys your general thoughts about Xavier before we dive into the film aspect of this. What did you think of him? Because I was incredibly impressed with the fact that there were really no limitations from what I could see. He was very specific about not taking hits unnecessarily, which was very good to see as well. And to be perfectly honest with you, I saw a more developed player than I had last year in some of the ways in which he was being used and some of the routes being ran. So, DG, CJ, talk about Xavier Worthy's impact on this team.
Go ahead, C.
I think overall, he looked like the player we saw towards the end of the year. Like, obviously, we know the ramp up of his inclusion in the offense, the snap count, the targets more so. Towards the end of the year, nobody was touching the football more on the team than Xavier Worthy to end the season, even before the Super Bowl. So we expected that coming into camp to carry on and to be even more of a high volume of touches. So he finished with 120 yards of total offense, and he didn't even score a touchdown. So I kind of laughed at DG. He's kind of the focal point of the thumbnail for the game, and he didn't even get in the end zone. But that's just his presence alone. And I know Tony Romo and Dan Orlovsky kind of elaborate on this. We've been saying it all summer. Just him being on the field does everything for this offense. That's why Usually every time he's in the game, I took him to score. But this week we didn't even really need him to, just because he dragged so much coverage away to help other guys get open. So just him being on the field made everybody's job easier, from Juju to Hollywood to Pacheco to Kelsey. He just adds so much juice to this offense. It gives you easy plays that you don't have to stress over getting a first down for. It's like the reverse to Worthy, one of our biggest plays of the game. That's just a very basic reverse. Get the ball, get up in the middle of the field. Josh Simmons get up on the safety, whoever's coming in that lane, and go make a play, and that's a big explosive play. Obviously, a simple go route when he beat Marlon with a stutter go, and me and DG said first down. Those are just easy plays we didn't have in this offense the last 3 weeks, and we needed it desperately. That's why I always said I'm not judging this team until you get number 1 and number 4 and or both of them back on the football field, because those are the engines of this offense. They're going to lead us in targets. They're going to lead us in touches for years to come, because those are the guys that are going to dictate coverage for our offense. So Xavier Worthy being out there was everything for this team. Whether he touched the ball or didn't touch the ball, you had to respect him wherever he was on the field.
Yeah, it just felt like this offense could breathe again. It felt like it really looked like a weight was lifted off of their shoulders. It's crazy how much one player can have an impact. But when you have that kind of game-breaking kind of speed that has to be accounted for, you can clearly see that it opens up everything else. Travis Kelce looked better. Patrick Mahomes looked a lot more comfortable. The run game was a lot more open in an aspect. So it just seemed like things were a lot more free flowing. And I understand also, you're going up against a defense, a defense that was lacking, especially in the defensive line. Obviously, they didn't have their best guys up front or whatever, and that may all change, come January if that team is still around as well too. But you can only play who's in front of you. You can only beat who's in front of you, and so at this point in time, especially with how desperate the Chiefs were to not go down 1-3. You gotta go out there and take care of business and make an inferior opponent look inferior, and that's exactly what they did. I think Xavier just opened so many things for them, and it just brought just a huge element of explosiveness back to this offense that they were lacking, obviously, in the first couple weeks. And it showed, man. One player's impact is huge, man.
Ain't no doubt about it as far as that is concerned as well. Look, like you said, it gave the offense ability to breathe. It just added that explosive element as well. And he's a true game changer when he's out there. And I tagged you in obviously that specific clip, but people act like this ain't a first round pick for good reason. And I saw, and shout out to Dante Lee. He does an amazing job doing football stuff for the Ringer, but he asked the question, is this Chiefs offense going to be different when Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice is back? Yes.
Why are you asking rhetorical questions?
They are difference-making wide receivers. Just because, and especially given the fact that the offensive line had already performed well enough, they'd gotten a little bit more from Tyquan Thornton. Yes, the guy that they had game planned to be a weapon for this team, the primary weapon while Rashee Rice was out, coming back was going to change things significantly, and acting otherwise was ignorant, in my personal opinion. And
it's a rhetorical question. That's just funny how people act like that. Like, I know people don't like us, but stop asking dumb questions. Like, don't do that. Like, let's keep it football.
I think it needs to be said, like, we understand, like, of course Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy don't fix everything with your offense or whatever.
They dictate coverage, bro. Like,
but at the same time, like, this was an offense that was down 2 of their best players at this point. Love Travis Kelce to death, man. Travis Kelce is a Hall of Famer. He will be loved in this city for many, 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 many years to come. He can probably get a free meal wherever he goes in this city. He's not the focal point anymore. I'm sorry. That has changed.
Been that way for a while.
It's a changing of the guard. This is now 4 and 1's offense now. Okay? The offense goes through them. And especially when 4 gets back, he is your guy. Love Xavier.
EGE, baby.
When EGE comes back, he's your guy, and he's going to be your guy moving forward in the future. We've been asking for a long time who's going to be that guy that replaces Travis Kelce as the focal point. You got your answer.
Absolutely. And so obviously we will talk about. Ooh, that's a good question. You guys want to answer this real quick? I say yes. I think Travis.
What do you say? I didn't say
my
it.
bad.
Yeah,
What
you
was
good. No, we could say yes. Thank you to
Remember
Buffalo,
the
of
thing,
course, for
absolutely,
trading
and for Trent McDuffie, and for
Yeah.
Pat. All three of them. I was thinking.
For Pat.
Buffalo.
Do the Bills look good favorite Georgia player? Yeah,
The
well,
Bills look
I
different,
wouldn't
man.
necessarily say that's the right comparison, but yes, it does matter when
you don't have your main players. Yes,
of
course,
it's a major thing. If you took the top two weapons off of any offense, it's going to look a little different. Or if you're the Ravens in this case, you just play the Chiefs defense. Apparently, then it looks very different too. Yes, I do have Travis Kelce over Tony Gonzalez.
Oh yeah, that's no question.
Tony Gonzalez is still top 5 tight end all time though. But
Both of them are top 5. Before, obviously, like we know Tony has all the stats for like the longevity. He played 20 years. Like that's a very long time to play in the NFL. But playoff numbers, big time performances, game winners, you can't. I love Tony to death. Like growing up, he was my idol. I had his jersey. I played tight end because of him. You can't put him over Travis, not based off of what he did in January, February alone. Like he broke some of Jerry Rice's records, some numbers we thought would never get touched. And if Kelce was a little younger, he probably could still break some more of them, honestly.
The playoff accolades obviously put Trav well over Tony G, and I love Tony G, man.
Like I said,
I wish he was. I actually got asked the question like, who would you like to put in this offense now? If I could have Jamal and Tony Gonzalez in this offense, oh my gosh. Bro.
Selfishly, I would say Tony, but realistically, I'm like, bro, give me.
If I could have Tony,
like,
we can have Tony
Jamal
in this
Jesus
offense.
Christ. Jamal speed with even like old Jamal with Worthy and Rasheed. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
we ain't losing to nobody.
Only Jamal. I'd only need Jamal personally.
Facts.
I'll actually I'm gonna start this and come back to that later on as well because we'll talk about the rest of the league a little bit later on too. So as far as the Chiefs and Xavier Worthy are concerned, I did want to start off here just kind of talking about his targets and his catches, and I should say his carries throughout the day as well. And I like that we started off. This was the sprint out option here, which is a pretty classic way of trying to pick up short yardage situations as well. And you can get to a little bit of a 4-strong look. Kelce blocking off the edge, and Juju gets highlighted early on, I should say.
Beautiful route by Juju here. Beautiful route by Juju.
Yes. Juju did an awesome job the entirety of the day.
That's how you run a pick route.
Yes. The entirety of the day being able to get other guys open and blocking on a consistent basis. So I want to give a shout out just off the top for Juju and what he was able to do. We won't talk a lot
for a reason.
Much, but for a wide receiver 4/5 in this offense, he is perfect for what he does. And he takes a lot of pride and joy, in my opinion, in what he's doing as well. So obviously runs a little rub out, forces Marlon Humphrey to get over top of Xavier Worthy, and Xavier Worthy is able to catch that ball for the first down conversion ultimately. And I think that was, just a good way to get Xavier Worthy involved in the game early on, obviously. And it happened to time up, obviously, with the key, kind of conversion that they needed to. And then I do want to go back to the beginning of this play here. Obviously, Mahomes sending Worthy in motion gets the indicator from Marlon Humphrey to say, hey, this is what you're going to do. And Marlo here takes that initial step up. And I think it's, kind of a disrespectful thing to as far as the Chiefs' deep ball passing standpoint of saying that he takes the step up, especially versus Xavier Worthy.
With no help over the top, he's crazy.
Yeah, you're crazy for doing that. And he pays the price ultimately. He's like, all right, well, I'll just out-physical Xavier Worthy. Now, Xavier Worthy shrugs him off, gets right by him. Is wide open and a beautiful ball from Patrick Mahomes. And DG, I mean, they lied to us. They said he couldn't play through contact. Even when
that would have knocked him
off
his route, DG. That's what he said, too little. I remember those clips when he first got jammed up in practice. Right? He's never going to be able to beat press. He can't.
Oh yeah. The idiotic English Bills fans that said that he's
look
with physicality. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You bozos,
you bandits,
you clowns tried to tell me, a person who watched Xavier Worthy from his freshman year until his junior year at Texas, tried to tell me this man could not play in the NFL and could not handle the NFL's physicality. That's what y'all tried to tell me. And it was people in our own fan base. I ain't gonna say names, but you look like clowns. The man went out there on a fully torn label and cooked. Even getting contact at the line. And I will say that Marlon Humphrey, you are a bum, a complete bum. I don't know why anybody ever considered you to be an all-pro cornerback, but
he did
you
get
are
all-pro 2 years ago. That's kind of crazy. Jesus Lord.
Xavier Worthy, dog. I don't see how people looked at his film in Texas and just thought like, oh, there's no way this kid. That's why I tell people stop looking at measurables. Stop looking at measurables because measurables obviously don't matter. If measurables mattered, Tyreek Hill wouldn't be the receiver that he turned out to be. See what he became. Obviously, prayers up to Tyreek. We'll get to probably.
Yeah, shout out to Tyreek, bro.
But it just goes to show you, y'all have to stop buying into draft combine measurables and what you. Oh, he came into combine at 170 something. How can he play this? He's little. He's still little. You know what he has that nobody else. Then this the one thing, and I've heard Andy Reid say it over and over and over again. The one thing you cannot teach in this league is speed.
Facts.
You can't teach it. You can't even. Sometimes you can't even buy it. You gotta draft it. You gotta go out and find it. And Brett Veach and them have been phenomenal at finding speed, and
especially with a guy like him.
Yes. And it works in this league, man. So for all you bozos who told me Xavier Worthy would not be effective in this league, congratulations. You played yourself. They gave you life.
They gave you life.
Even before we get to laying somebody to rest, I'm laying all you bozos to rest.
Facts. And I know people get enamored, like they get enamored like with the John Ross compares to DG or like plenty of other fast players that obviously were very dynamic but didn't know how to run routes. Out of all the guys that I've seen run 4.2s recently that come into the league in like the last decade, Worthy's been one of the better route runners to come out of college. So yes, I agree. The concerns with the weight, I get, but you can't question the talent. Like you definitely can't question the speed. That's obvious. But running routes and getting open was never for a problem for him at Texas. The only thing you could say are the injuries as a concern, which that I understand. But it's the risk you take because he's so explosive, because he's such a versatile player. And he's so savvy with the ball.
The injuries don't matter.
And really, outside of the shoulder injury, he hasn't really had any major issues with us. He played the whole year. Last year, he played every game. So outside of the shoulder thing, which was a freak play, like that's not supposed to happen. Like
he played an entire year with a hand injury. Exactly, like before college. So it's
a freak injury where, like in football, you're going to get hurt. So you can't really say, "Oh, he's hurt." Everybody gets hurt in football. You can't use that as an argument. You just don't want to see obviously injuries linger on. And if Kelsey runs the right route, we never see that happen. But he doesn't have any, like, knock on wood, I don't ever want to see us speak on this again. But things like this are things you just can't teach, is what DG is saying. He's already a very fast player. And most fast players aren't savvy and know how to run routes. Worthy is one of the most trustworthy and versatile guys on this offense because we can use him anywhere, outside, in the slot. One of the touchdowns we scored last week, he was lined up in the backfield. Those kind of things just bring so much versatility to our offense, like DMac said. It gives us easy plays that we don't have to stress over. Like, oh, we need 5 yards. Let's run a pick route. Oh, we need a reverse. Let's get an explosive play to Worthy. You don't have to think about that. You just block it up and give it to him, and he gets 15 to 20 yard plus. Those are things you can't do with anyone else. Oh, he may be a better route runner, but they don't know how to speed like this. Andy Reid's offenses are built around separation, and nobody separates better than Xavier Worthy for our offense. Outside of him and Rasheed.
Bro, wait till EGE. I'm
telling you, bro, it's going to get scary.
When EGE comes back, y'all are smoked.
Y'all think Taekwon eating now? Boy, he ain't never going to see double ever again. I don't think Taekwon may never see a safety again when he get Rasheed and Worthy back, bro.
Good luck,
it's going to get scary, bro.
You're in trouble.
I'm taking that Taekwon longest reception every week now.
I can't wait to see EGE back in this offense. But so as far as let's keep on going with Xavier Worthy. He's down here at the bottom of the screen, gonna run a little inside move, and he gets that step. Nate Wiggins is obviously clearly quicker than Marlon Humphrey. He does have a step. Mahomes just leaves it a little bit further out there, and unfortunately that could be a hookup there. But still a good job in my opinion, as far as the release was concerned, and getting a little bit of separation there.
Shout out to him.
Had him beat though.
Shoulder.
Yeah, that was he did a good job of staying off that shoulder there. Another one where
that was actually a great ball by Pat, because like I was watching because my seat's like right in front of this. He threw it directly on the pylon, so like you can't ask for a better ball placement. Just a little far ahead of him.
Yeah, he was honestly just a little quick as far as I was concerned, because he's gonna get to the pylon here. It's just a tad, out in the front there. And I will also say this. I'm not saying that it couldn't have gotten completed, but I do, in this circumstance, I would like to see him trustworthy with a little bit of a back shoulder here when it's a little bit that close to the sideline and trusting him. You know, you could throw a flatter ball and have him go up and reach it. Now, obviously,
even I'm leaving.
It's a shoulder. So, how much do you trust him to do that is fine. But especially when a guy has his back turned to you like this, and we've seen Worthy make this play before, trust him a little bit as far as the back shoulder is concerned and have him go up there and get that ball. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Worthy here in the slot, running that crossing route. And again, just another one, just a little bit out of reach. Also was surprised that he didn't try and put this one on him, though. He did have the pressure in his face and the guy was underneath. So I understand why he didn't try and put it on him. But it was clearly an emphasis to get the ball to Xavier really early, to say the least.
You know what a lot of this does? It window dresses everything that opens up.
Yeah.
You know, it literally helps everything that's going on. Like Trav got gifted so much because of how concerned the Ravens were about Xavier Worthy going over the top of their heads at this point in time. You know? And so it sometimes, Pat and them miss on some of these throws, but sometimes you got to throw them just to keep guys on it. It's like being, if you watch Tarek Skubal, greatest pitching performance I've probably seen in a long time in baseball. But sometimes, bro, you don't have to throw everything in the zone. You change a hitter's eye level, you get them looking up, you get them looking down. You may throw one way up at near his head or whatever, just to change the eye level. And I think that a lot of times that's what this offense, especially on Sunday, they were trying to change that eye level or really the discipline of the Ravens and keeping them honest. You know?
Yeah.
And moving them all over the field does that for you. Yeah, put him in different places. You have to know where he's at.
And that's the point of throwing the ball deep, is to make sure that the safeties are influenced and have to account for it on a consistent basis to give the offense room to breathe underneath as well. Here they're going to run the little jet sweep the right way. Worthy does a good job again.
Way to get down, son. Good job.
Way to get down.
Way to get down, son.
I'll highlight here. This isn't the best play for it, but I thought Noah Gray and Travis Kelce were much better blocking wise today, or I should say on Sunday. And that's a tip of the cap for them. I thought they brought a much needed attention to detail there, even though this was a long game, a long gain, I should say. I thought that they were better as far as those aspects. So I was happy to see that as well. So nice little Xavier Worthy run here for about 5 yards as well.
Just easy plays, man. We didn't have this in the offense last 3 weeks.
They
get you to 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, like 3rd and short. Just give me plays.
And then you're going to get to a 3rd down situation here. And this is, again, when you don't have wide receivers, primarily your 2 best wide receivers, finding guys that are isolated on the backside of combination of routes that can beat man-to-man coverage one-on-one is difficult. Xavier Worthy, of course, takes on that challenge pretty easily, shoved off Ginobili Aruzzi at the top of the route here. It gets open. It's a nice release as well, because you could tell he's trying to set him up for really kind of that outside portion of it. And he gets him, shakes him off, gets him turned around, make sure that he can stem and really attack his inside shoulder, make him try to overcorrect, and then use his momentum to get him when he tries to get outside there. And just and you can see, and the reason why this isn't a like offensive pass interference, Ginobili himself, because he's so turned around, tries to put his hands on him first, and then Xavier can give him that shove to be say, hey, well, you initiated contact, I'm gonna go ahead and finish it and get open there. Good job by Xavier Worthy on that route. Good release, understanding how to get him into your blind spot, and then forcing his momentum inside that so you can go outside again. Wide open, easy pass and conversion on 3rd down for Xavier Worthy there.
No,
and again, go ahead.
Pat was probably crying after this game.
Like, thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. We finally got a weapon and I can throw to.
And he get open.
And he can get open.
And great pocket by the O-line. That was an amazing thing. I know they didn't have all their guys up front, but great pocket. I think that was like that, like as far as like pass rush, like
no, we can see
from the same pass rush that I've seen in his last 3 years.
I think it needs to be said, man. Through the first 4, the line hasn't been the problem.
Out of all the
Yeah,
issues and
I
everybody
mean,
was worried about, it ain't been Josh.
The interior here obviously is one thing, and you can shove that aside. But these are the starting edge rushers for the Ravens, to be fair. And Juwan Taylor, Josh Simmons on an island, nothing but stonewalling these guys, and that's exactly what you want to see on a consistent basis from those tackles. So yeah, a good job by the tackles, good job by the entire offensive line on this day, and dominated this Ravens defense up front that was missing some guys too. The really nice play design here on the end around, also the reverse copy as far as the blocking is concerned. But I just want you guys, obviously Juju is going to be on the end here. Just watch Josh Simmons, and obviously Xavier Worthy's really good. Xavier Worthy's doing a really good job of tempoing things as far as when to take advantage of the seam that's going to open up. But just watch Josh Simmons here. He's right there around 99. Just watch Josh Simmons in space, baby. Go on, get out there, big boy. Get out there, big boy.
I got it. Watch out.
Beautiful. Oh man, I love watching Josh Simmons in space. It's a beautiful thing. So as far as the blocking is concerned, they kind of send Gray in motion, run essentially a counter fake forward, and you can see how much this influences basically the entire front seven. Everybody's pretty much in a box here. 24 is going to be isolated on the backside, but he's still being influenced by that counter action. He's all the way inside. Josh Simmons knows to let him go. Xavier Worthy's all the way out there on the edge, and then again, just understanding how to kind of set these things up. He understands that he could go outside, but Kyle Hamilton's is screaming to the outside, trying to make sure that doesn't happen. So he allows him to kind of influence inside. And then ultimately, Josh Simmons, Kyle Hamilton's going to then spin back and try and get inside. And he ultimately, Xavier Worthy's buying by that point because of his acceleration. Turns it to a chunk play down the field. Roquan Smith, I think, ended up straining his hamstring on that play too, trying to chase that down backside. So a really nice play design. And again, when Xavier Worthy's speed can take advantage of those yards, just a little bit different because he's really comfortable doing those sorts of things.
We got a left tackle.
Yes, we do have.
And he can move.
And he can run.
Little third down swing pass here for the conversion as well.
And notice how like half of these touches by Xavier Worthy are just like not even like no think plays. These are all the gimme plays. I call it like a reverse, a pick route, a bubble route. These are routes that can get you 5, 7 to 10 yards, and you don't have to think about whatever covers they're in. You see numbers, you do simple math. You see 2-on-2, 3-on-2. If you have the advantage, you give them the ball in space, you let them be fast. These are plays where Xavier Worthy don't even have to think. He just touches the ball and just runs. These are just like 5 yards plays that just relieve so much stress, like DMac said, off the offense. We didn't have this for a month. So imagine how this offense is going to look when you have guys like him and Rasheed. Rasheed is one of the best like yards to catch receivers in the NFL, and you pair him with Xavier Worthy. These plays just make your offense that much more explosive. Because then when you do want to design plays to dictate a certain coverage you want to beat, then you can really get into your bag and you can get more explosive plays. But these are substitutes for your run game. When you're not running the game at a high level, you can get a 5-yard bubble screen from Worthy or a pick route or a bubble screen from Rasheed or a tunnel screen, things to just get your offense going. Then you can start play action and off of those things. And then you can start getting to the gun and doing those RPOs that Pat loves so much.
Yeah, Bruce Arians kind of, when he was on Pat McAfee, he kind of spoke to it too, and saying that they're realistically they're missing their yak guys. They're missing their guys that can take a 5-yard slant and turn it into 20 and 25 and chunk plays. And he said, when you don't have those guys, obviously like your offense is going to struggle, but they've been able to get those guys back. So,
yeah,
at least one of them.
I did want to Juju blocking. There's number 9 here on the Worthy.
That's why I said he's the perfect 6 man for this offense. He does all the dirty work.
Yeah, we'll see him out there. There he is, number 9 out there again on the perimeter for that Worthy swing route. So,
Juju went to New England and really learned his lesson. He's like, you know what?
Said, I like it here.
Yeah.
I'm not going back.
The grass is not always
the grass ain't greener, dog.
He's like, yeah,
the
money was cool, but it's
yeah. I think I'm right back.
We get Simmons for a pick or Brassard. That is true. I do want to see a little bit more Noah Gray, but hey, this is going to be an everybody.
It's a lot of everybody got to eat.
Absolutely.
Hey, they've been implementing the wheel routes with Brassard.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to talk about Brassard Smith in a little bit, but I do want to, for me personally, before we get into the under center stuff that CJ want to talk about, and then also Brassard Smith as well. I want to just talk about the drive coming out of the second half. A, because it was a pivotal point in the game, but B, I just love the play call sequencing that you saw from Andy Reid as far as this was concerned here. And again, it does start with that little, jet sweep that you saw earlier, that we talked about earlier to Xavier Worthy, just to start out the drive would get you again ahead of the sticks, put you into a 2nd and 4, put you in a good position as far as that is concerned as well. Really good blocking.
Very easy.
Yeah, really good blocking up front as well. Guys get out front, look at Creed and Simmons. They know these guys aren't going to be able to catch Xavier Worthy on this little pop pass. They get out in front and see if we can get something going. If there's a seam there, then all of a sudden, and Xavier Worthy can get past that second level, then all of a sudden you got yourself a really big play. Of course, in this case, they were able to shut it down too quickly, but still, good athletes in space as far as Creed.
Friendly fire.
Yeah.
Funny.
Did I miss it?
Cheeto ran into his guy. He was reaching at his back after the play. Watch.
Oh,
Cheeto, it was funny. Boom.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
He's like,
my bad.
No, this offense is most effective, man, when they're not in third and long and way behind the sticks. And I've been saying that, like, you're not that type of offense anymore, especially if you're gonna be down, even Rasheed Rice or Xavier Worthy. You're not that type of offense that can overcome 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 16, like you used to be able to. So you gotta stay in second and manageable, 3rd and manageable, to be able to have some success. And they did a really good job of that on Sunday. I don't remember one long 3rd and anything for real on Sunday. So
and then here, they're gonna have a pseudo light box. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton kind of comes down late as they rotate into a single high type of look. Really, it would be cover one man. But what you notice here is just, again, good blocking scheme, being able to really run. It's a little bit of inside zone, a little bit of duo, a combination there. Pacheco does a good job spinning around and gets about 3 yards as far as that's concerned. But, you want to see them take advantage of those essentially light boxes going up against, teams that are going to play them this way accordingly. And again, good job by moving the line of scrimmage and ultimately getting it for close to the first down.
Great block, Joe. Look at Kings out there getting a little more after the whistle. Look at Kings getting after it. Come here, son. Get out.
Kingsley was fired up this game. At the end of this clip, I saw something that Kingsley ended up celebrating specifically here. Again, getting back to the run game. Really nice play design, pulling the
great
tight end over.
Great V, Pop.
Yes. Good vision for Pop. And I think is it Kelsey that comes in motion? Yeah, Kelsey's going to run on this wham
Double
here.
Pull. Okay.
They end up pulling Kingsley as well over Creed. Does a great job digging that nose out. Double team from Creed and Jawan and Trey. My fault. Trey is going to end up being able to climb
First
as well.
kick out.
For some work. There, Kelsey, again, like I said, did a really good job as far as his blocking was concerned. Meets
inside. Great job, Trey.
Opens it up for Pacheco, who's going to be able to sneak on through. Trey's at the second level, getting that guy out there. Is that Taekwon or is that Hollywood?
Hollywood
okay. Out there
Hollywood
working.
get a little dirty. Okay.
Hollywood out there working, trying to get that DB off of him. Pacheco finishing the run hard. A really, really nice run, in my personal opinion.
Nice job of getting skinny.
I love all the head placement about everyone. Kingsley right side of the helmet, Trav right side of putting your head on the right side of a blocker is so key to, and that's one of the pulling things we mentioned about Kingsley in the first 2 weeks. A lot of his pulls, he was getting his head on the wrong side of blocker. So they're slowly correcting things and getting better at it week by week.
Absolutely. And we saw this earlier, Xavier Worthy doing work against Ruzier in a really good pocket from the offensive line that was provided. And again, they had a really dominant day in many respects as far as this was concerned. And you're just seeing this is play after play, getting positive yardage, continuing to move forward, and a really nice play sequencing as far as this was concerned for the Chiefs here in the second drive to open the second half. There it is. I think this was so this was the one that I think Kingsley ended up celebrating here. Little zone, little outside zone. Pacheco getting skinny again, trying to get a little bit of extra yardage there to the edge. Creed, solid enough job.
Great step, check.
Does a good job getting the backside. Josh does a solid enough job as well.
Throw him out the club, Kingsley. Throw him out the club.
Mm-hmm.
You a little guy. Get out of here.
He's too little.
Trey just couldn't really cut off Buchanan effectively. If he could, then there may be a chance there. And then also, I think Creed's the nose tackle there gets an arm on Pacheco as he goes by. That helps him out too. So just not enough, but enough to continue to get solid yardage. And then I believe this is going to be the one that ends up ending the drive here. Just a gorgeous play design. Going to run 2 underneath routes from the outside. Taekwon Thornton kind of running a skinny post, going to stem outside, fake at Kyle Hamilton and get inside. And Mahomes throws an absolute spiral that you're going to be able to see on the reverse angle. That is gorgeous. But this is good route concept. and then Mahomes puts it on the money.
Decisive too. Know exactly. I know exactly where I'm gonna go. There's no hesitation. Yeah. No, I got exactly what I want to see, and I know exactly where this ball is going, and just put it on a rope. Like he's gotten so good at that over his career of just being able to place the ball in a certain place where only his receivers can get it. Been beautiful. He threw one to Juju as well in the end zone.
That Juju dive was tough.
Just appreciate the spiral here. Just gorgeous, like on a frozen rope. In Tycho. Just gorgeous.
Can I say something too?
Shout out to Taekwon, man.
Kyle Hamilton had to be frustrated this whole day. I know Kyle Hamilton had a bad day, bro. He was like, bro, I'm in position every time. And every time I can't.
He's like a step late.
Look at Kyle Hamilton after the play. Like,
what do I do? That's where you put the ball. I want to give a shout out to Taekwon because I know a lot of people thought he was only an outside receiver or just truly an X, the guy that doesn't play in the slot. He's been doing that a lot for us, out of necessity, obviously, without having Worthy out there and Rasheed. But the fact that they trust him to run this route, that's usually Rasheed's spot. To run about over the middle, you have to make a catch in traffic and take a hit. That's usually something he wasn't like required to do coming out of college or asked to do as much. So the fact that they trust him to do that, this receiving core is expanding and only going to get better. Because we know in the receiver core in this team, you have to be trusted to run every route at any spot based on the concept. You learn the concept of the offense more so than positions. So the fact that they're trusting Taekwon to do these things is only going to make this offense better because now you can truly put Rasheed, Worthy, and Taekwon anywhere on the field. You know they're going to be explosive and make plays. So I love that for Taekwon because his speed is dangerous. If he's the second or third fastest guy in our receiver room, that's only going to make us more of a threat for sure.
So that was an example, just in my opinion, of what was a really fun second drive to start the second half, and a really nice play sequence, in my opinion, to come out. CJ, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over as far as the under center stuff, because this is a cut up of all of the Chiefs under center plays, both run and pass, and just tell me what you see as we go through all of these.
No, the biggest thing I saw that I've been asking us to do more under center is bring in extra linemen. So we did a lot of 6 linemen this week. And it just brings in more of a physicality point to a D lineman that you want to make look inferior. So just a lot of these concepts we're running are just getting man on man. We did some gap schemes, did a lot of pulling and powers, but it helps give your offense a way to get downhill. But most importantly, it gives your running back a clear vision of where they're supposed to hit the whole pause. But just those things allow your offense just to be more decisive. And then you can do things like do reverses to Worthy and do screen plays to Pacheco. And Pacheco feels more confident. So that's some of the best runs we've seen Pop have vision-wise in a while. Usually we're always complaining about him running up a linebacker's back or running into his blockers. These plays just allow your running backs to get more of a rhythm of offense. Just like we complain about, or as fans, we want the quarterback to be in rhythm. Running backs need rhythm too, but they can't do that if they're running from the gun consistently. So a lot of these plays that you're seeing under center just help the running backs get more vision. So this is one of my favorite ones right here, just because you do that zone action so much, then you boot off of it. Kelsey's wide open for a deep over, and these are just easy gimme plays. And then you do the same concept right here, 12 personnel, that same boot action, sprint out with the running back, easy flat. You caught him a man and it's over. So these are just very simple concepts where you've been running this run action the whole game, and now you just sprint out of it, have Pop go right in the flat. They can't get to it in time. You're doing it from the opposite hash. So that's a far throw. So it's just a hard thing to do for a defense to have to cover that action all day. And then you finally play action off of it and the guys are wide open. So these are some of the things we have done it all year. We haven't ran 6 linemen hardly at all this year. I think we had 20% of our snaps on offense under center. That's the most we've done this year as well. All the things we've been begging, more than me specifically, I've been screaming we need to do for this offense, more so to help Pacheco and Kareem. They'll be better in this offense when you do these type of things, and they're going to get more explosive plays, and you saw that. And naturally having Worthy will make you better as well. So this is probably my favorite touchdown of the day, because you see so many different players in so many different positions. So if you're a defense, you see 11 personnel. So you may think, okay, let's have more DBs on the field. So now you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Malachi Starks in the box. And they think, okay, they're probably going to try to pass the ball. Then they end up condensing it to an offset I formation. You play action off of that. Hollywood's wide open on the backside. So these are just so many good concepts that we haven't used at all this year that I knew were in our bag. And I know fans hate hearing us say this, and DG probably gets tired of me yelling about it. This team holds back, bro. And I know people don't want to hear it, but it's the God's honest truth. Because a lot of these concepts we did this week, we have not ran these all year. And I knew we were going to do it eventually. They're probably just saving these things until you get Worthy in the field. So, but there's just so many things that you can't do when guys aren't in the offense. Now you can give like a dive to Kareem from the fullback position. Like there's just creative things that I know Andy has in his bag that he only uses for certain moments. And it's hard being it's probably like annoying, like being a fan of the Chiefs, because we've had so many big moments, so many explosive offenses we've seen over the years. And to DG's point earlier, fans expect us to score 30 every week. I think that was the first time we scored 30 since at home since the Bears game 2 years ago. It's the first 30 ball we've had, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at home, I think. So in this offense, it does get frustrating not seeing guys be explosive every week, even though regardless, we know our weapons weren't there. But when guys are in the offense and then we have like a game where it's like, not like I got to have it, but this is a game where DG said you don't want to go down 1-3. So obviously you're going to be more aggressive in certain play calls. And then when you have your guys back on the field, it makes it that much better. But these are the type of plays that I've been asking Andy to run. And none of these concepts are overly complicated. These are just simple boot action, naked action, zone splits. You're obviously doing simple actions off of these things. It helps everybody better. It just helps everybody get open. Nothing in here was very complicated. These are very simple concepts. That's why I was I know we crashed out the first 2-3 weeks as us and like some of our fans, but naturally so. I wasn't as mad because all the things I wanted to see, they weren't doing. And a lot of things I loved seeing on Sunday were just very simple concepts. And I think when we do those things, it's only going to make us better. And then we could obviously get into our gun and our RPO game, which we know Pat and Andy love. But this is true football, in my opinion, that helps out any quarterback. As great as Patrick Mahomes is, he needs gimme plays. He needs 5-10-yard pop that can get a guy open or just to get a guy first down. And that's what we can do when we do these things under center. So, and plays like this, like when you're in this formation, specifically DMac, that's why it's my favorite touchdown of the day.
Yeah.
If you saw this personnel coming onto the field, what would you think we're going to do? You probably think we're going to line up in doubles, trips, probably in the gun and throw the ball, right? And then you all of us see us getting an offset eye. So that changes everything for the defense. Now they're thinking, okay, or are they going to run the ball? They got Worthy in the backfield. They're going to throw a screen. Everybody's thinking it's going to be something underneath. And then they do that same action they've been doing all day. When they get into this offset eye, they did that same action off of it, except now instead of Hollywood just blocking and not actually running a route, he runs a deep over. And all the safeties are up in the middle because they think there's some type of run action. When you see offset eye, you think they're probably going to run the football. The whole defense did. That's why they got under front, 6 down. It's 0. They think, hey, they're going to run the football here. Simple action off of that. Hollywood beats his backside corner for a deep over 6. You let it run.
Yeah, the thing I wanted to point out here, you can see the Ravens are trying to communicate this out early before.
Exactly. It's such a jumble. Like, oh wow, they aren't throwing.
This is 11 personnel because that's
Nice.
Juju right here. This is Hollywood Brown. This is Travis Kelce. This is obviously Kareem and Worthy. So it's 3 wide receivers, and then all of a sudden you come out with a heavy personnel look of sorts. And the fact that you move Kareem inside to fullback, and then the guys are like, all right, so who's guarding who? We're just playing man across the board, I guess. Kyle's trying to call something out beforehand as well in addition to that. And then you come out with the under center play action, and then the Worthy, again, stretching guys out that way. And ultimately, the funny thing is this guy right here, Kyle Hamilton, like you said earlier, DG, probably didn't have a great day. And the reason why is because all of the misdirection that's been thrown. Look at it. You're going to see Kyle Hamilton try and call something out to the defense. Say, hey, pay attention to this. But look.
Too late.
Xavier Worthy's back there. And he sees Xavier Worthy. He's like, I got to run Xavier Worthy.
I got to get Worthy.
Wait. No, it's Patrick Mahomes. I got to run to Patrick Mahomes. Whole time, here, Hollywood Brown is wide open in the end zone, and Mahomes again puts it on the money. And that's just the conflict that you could put defenses into, especially when you get under center and do some of those things too. I thought this was a really nice block to run. It didn't end up going for many yards ultimately, but they did a good job on the front side of this concept. A more dynamic back ultimately probably gets a little bit more yards there.
Kill. Change the play.
Kill check into the run and really good. Another well blocked run in my opinion as well.
All the runs that Pacheco and Kareem had, I know people aren't going to look at the numbers and be like, what do you mean, CJ? Xavier Worthy still was your leading rusher. Well, most of the yards came off a reverse. But they look so much more decisive in running the ball under center than they are out of the gun. And it's night and day difference. Like that Pacheco run when we had the double pullers with Trav and Kingsley coming around and he hit it inside right on Trav. We haven't seen Pop made that clean of a read in a very long time. But we've been saying these things. Running backs need help with their run game as well, just as much as receivers do from their quarterback. They need these things under center to make the picture clearer for them. They know if I'm hitting the ball in the A, B, C gap, I know where my vision is getting downhill, but they just don't have the speed or dynamic enough to get horizontal, to get vertical. When you're doing these things from under center, they can get downhill and in a hurry. And it may only be 4 yards, but 2nd and 6 has been a very big struggle for us. We've been at 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 9 almost all year until this week. Like DG said, I don't remember us having too many 3rd and longs the whole game. And there's a reason we can do that because we were running the ball like this on 1st down. And when you do that, it makes everybody's job easier. As great as Patrick Mahomes is, he needs easy plays. And these plays help the offense run at a very high level.
Absolutely. And you can see here, Kareem Hunt is obviously going to motion them into it as well. And they're still trying to figure whatever the heck is going on here Worthy in the backfield. But what it does is ultimately, because of what happened the last time you ran this type of formation, hey, all of a sudden you're just trying to get a yard here. Kareem Hunt all of a sudden has this guy going out wide, another guy going out wide. This guy's getting influenced by that. And Kareem Hunt easily can get that short yardage to be able to convert as far as the first down is concerned. So those things and the way in which we married the concepts were really good to see as far as that was concerned from my personal perspective. And then I did want to say really quickly the Brassard Smith usage, which I thought was really fun. Obviously, they came out early, tried to get the ball to him on this wheel route. He took an extra step inside. Mahomes put it a little bit on his backside. Ultimately, he wasn't able to connect there, but they did not have that discourage him, as Andy Reid never really does as far as that is concerned. And it continued to go back to him 5 different ways to get him the ball, using that kind of outside motion option to try and get some other stuff available as well. They love sending him on those type of swing motions. I guess they would call it orbit, but he's not really necessarily doing the whole around the world type thing. But I really do like what he brings to the table because he is a converted wide receiver and he understands how to run wide receiver routes, especially out of the backfield. It gets it into the flat here for that third down.
Get that block.
And look, his what's it called? His receiving ability.
Out of try to get that block, he scores. Oh my God.
Is a real weapon out of the backfield to be used, and you can tell that they really like to use him and want to continue to emphasize him within this offense, which is good because he is a dynamic playmaker when the ball is in his hands, to say the least. And again, the variety of ways in which they want to get him the ball.
Running enough reads with Pat is hilarious.
Yeah, that again, especially because we won't sneak the ball. I thought,
but we can do this.
Right. I thought Mahomes was going to hand this off here and just.
Bro, me too. That's what I saw running. I'm like, what are you doing?
If the defender comes out here flat-footed, hand the ball off and let the guy go to work. But Mahomes decided to keep it instead. And look, Mahomes doesn't have all that much experience, running these types of option plays. I'll say that from that perspective. But the guy's flat-footed. Give it up to him. I'm gonna let the running back.
I don't know what Pat was thinking. Pat, give that ball up to him. You don't need to be doing that shit, bro. Give the ball up.
We did come back with a more traditional run to Brassard Smith, which again I wanted to see. They got to emphasize this.
And man block, okay.
To end the game, they ended up giving Brassard Smith a lot of carries, which again is good in my opinion to get his feet wet. But I thought he showed a little bit of patience here, trying to get in between his blocks. Ended up getting tripped up ultimately, but does get some yards moving forward as well. And again, another well blocked play. I'll say that.
Look at Josh finish the play.
Trey Smith killing 97 on the ground here. He just gets tripped up on Creed's feet. Otherwise,
put a little pancake with this. You saw it. You saw Josh get nasty. Josh, come here. Yeah.
Josh Simmons playing through the echo of the whistle there, 40 on his back. Dude, hey, sometimes you got to stack a pancake on a pancake. Trey Smith.
They all count, Josh. They all count the same. It's
Josh
good in my
Simmons
book.
Put another guy on top of him, man, which is funny. Brassard Smith again running it outside, getting that swing pass on, and just running into Tyquan Thornton ultimately there. But the emphasis to get him the ball, in my opinion, is a really good thing to see. And I want them to continue to expand that as well.
Especially plays like this. Just get him in space and let him be an athlete, bro. He's going to be so vital for this offense, running option routes, bubble routes, screen routes. It's such a versatile weapon. I know essentially the Jet McKinnon role without obviously putting him in too much stress on pass protection. But him being a weapon is just another cognitive in this offense that you can use. And obviously where a lot of people are frustrated, but it's a very long season. Like I said, Andy holds a lot of stuff back. I know fans hate to hear that. But when you're playing 17 to 20 football games every year, I'm not going to give you my whole recipe every year. Sorry. You're going to have to wait till big moments, big games, more so playoffs is when you want to see the plays where we're using everything in our availability to try to go get explosive and get first down. So we're just trying to manage our way through the season.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to the Tell the Truth tape of the week, talking about containing Lamar Jackson and flipping to the defense side of the ball that had an excellent day versus a really good offense, in my opinion. And I wanted to, and I should say DG specifically wanted to emphasize what Nick Bolton in this linebacker room and also Leah Chenal were able to do. And so I'm going to kind of let DG drive it as far as this is concerned to talk about this. We're going to start off with the pass rush reps from Nick Bolton, who obviously had an ability to blitz on a consistent basis throughout this game and try and create some havoc as well. And they kind of sent a double A gap blitz there and on the I think it was the second step of the game, I should say, coming after with Leo and Nick Bolton coming around there, and that it kind of came from depth a little bit deeper there.
Yeah. Obviously, Spags, the game plans he comes up for Lamar Jackson, I think he has Lamar Jackson's number so much and knows what exactly
Give me
he
that.
likes
Oh my God, that's so tough.
and what he can't do. And I said this last week in the pod, man. There are points and times if you press Lamar Jackson enough, he will give you one or two or three. You never know, but he will definitely get into a mode where he just takes a little bit too much and tries to do a little bit too much, and that's just the kind of player he is. And sometimes it works for him just because he's that talented, But then sometimes this is what happens. This is the result. I really think that the Chiefs did a really good job of taking what shout out to I think the guy Kelvin Shepard is his name, the DC for the Lions. Kind of taking the concepts of what they did the previous week before, using that kind of spy but delayed blitz to kind of put some pressure on Lamar Jackson. You don't necessarily want to try to go after him because we know how good Lamar Jackson can use his legs in that nature, and we know what kind of runner he is, especially when he gets in open space. I'm pretty sure that Alex Okafor is still having nightmares of Lamar Jackson in Arrowhead.
Oh, he broke his ankle so bad that day. That was so bad. I remember that play. That was funny.
But those are the type of things Lamar Jackson is capable of, and I think they did a good job this week of not only getting after him, but rushing with integrity, rushing and keeping your pass lane integrity. And I think Nick Bolton, to me, had a phenomenal game. To get that assignment of being that kind of delayed spy blitzer, I think he did a great job, especially coming right up the middle, as you see right here, and just pestering and making Lamar Jackson's life hell. Not necessarily, and this is not necessarily Nick Bolton trying to be a hero or trying to get the sack or anything like that. This is just pestering him and making him be honest and try to get the ball out of his hands as quick as possible. They did it on 4th down, did it on 3rd and long. You see right here, delayed, and then just coming up the middle and just forcing him to get the ball out.
I love this so much. Again, this is the biggest thing you saw from the Lions last week. I'm sorry to cut you off, DG, but this is so exciting. And this is, I understand, I get it. He's not that great at coverage. We understand he has limitations. I totally understand it. But you can't, at the linebacker position, it is so vital to have the instincts and understanding of how to manipulate the front and how to get everybody else lined up behind you. And this is just an example of how smart a football player he is. He's playing the spy role, but it's not a straight spy. It's not, hey, I'm just going to sit here at the line of scrimmage and try and mirror. No, the point is to try and get the ball out of the quarterback's hands as well by him and him in. And he's I'm going to play it. I'm going to be, nope, I'm coming. I'm not coming. Hey, guys, you guys look there. Yeah. Go help out Charles Omenihu and
as soon as you move.
I'm not coming. I'm just staying. Don't worry. Oh, now I'm coming.
Thank you.
That's the stuff that gets me excited because it's smart football play. And it's smart, intelligent ability to be able to manipulate offensive lines. And that's an example of it, to say the least. And like you said, DG, he just did a great job of being very heady and understanding when to tempo his rushes, understanding how to find the gaps in the middle of the offensive line as well. And he showed it throughout the entirety of the game. But I'm going to let you keep on talking.
And DG, one thing, if you notice how, all the time when Lamar gets out of the pocket, it's always to his right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he never, gets flushed, to his left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the thing that Spags noticed, and he kept doing those same things that the Detroit Shepard DC did as well, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and I think even on some of our blitzes, we did a really good job of containing. It's not necessarily trying to get Lamar to the ground because obviously, we know how hard that is, especially with how elusive and how well of a runner he is, or whatever. But this is what you want to do: get him off his mark, force him to throw a pass that he doesn't want to have to throw, but he knows he's going to have to, especially when they're down, because I got to make a play. I got to do something to get us back in this game. And this is him just forcing the issue early, trying to make something happen out of nothing. But look at the containment.
There's nowhere for him to escape here.
There's nowhere for him to go.
He can't step up. He can't run outside. There's nowhere.
And George staying on his level, not overrunning him.
Not overrunning, yeah. And then I will say I think this is something heading into week 9 with the Bills game, you're gonna have to do against Josh Allen as well too, because we know how talented of a runner he can be when he gets outside the pocket. But it's not necessarily about getting these guys. I know people love the sack numbers and things like that, and that's what you guys want to see or whatever, and I do too. But sometimes it's literally about just going out there and doing your job and doing it with integrity and knowing that you don't have to be a hero in this defense, bro. If everybody does their job, you turn out to be what you are now. And the Chiefs are the number 2 scoring defense in the league, and this is the reason why, because they don't play hero ball. Everybody does their assignment. Everybody has their assignment, and they stick to it. You know. Shout out to Nick Bolton. That's the reason why Nick Bolton is here. That's the reason why Leo Chenal is here. That's the reason why George Karlaftis is on this team. And I get on those guys too, man. Like I want to see them succeed and put up the numbers and things of that nature. But I am more happy and proud when I do get to see them do their job and do it with integrity and knowing that this is the game plan that Spags put together and going out there executing. And you come out with wins. That's the ultimate goal. That's at the end of the day. That's the only thing we all care about. As long as we come out with a win, it is what it is. We don't care what the sack numbers are. We don't care what the interception numbers are or anything like that. But I will say, shout out to the defense. These last couple weeks, it's still in a couple extra possessions for that offense. I've been saying that since the beginning of last year or whatever, that they got to be more adamant about getting their hands on the ball. Leo, that's probably the greatest.
I had to play of his career, bro.
I didn't know he had that in him, but this is
nobody did.
Interception, one-handed back, tip it back to you, falling on the ground, and honestly, it's impressive enough play
head around
to just cover him well enough for this to happen. To be covering him and then get your head all the way around and get your hand on the ball. That alone is impressive enough.
Crazy.
To bring this in for an interception is awesome. Just a great play by Leo. I wanted to make sure that we highlighted that before we got to the Leo
play
of
the game for me.
The Leo Chenal pass rush aspects of this, and he was lined up a lot on it, obviously on the edge, and being able to trying to contain Lamar Jackson on a consistent basis, just doing that. And again, he's not necessarily a true edge rusher. He is going to have some issues as far as that is concerned. But again, for what we asked him to do, really playing that pseudo fourth down defensive lineman spot and then doing a lot of spy stuff too, and hemming in Lamar Jackson, I thought he did a good job.
Yeah. All around great game plan from Spags and that defense, man. The first drive was obviously a little rocky, but I think that's more indicative of the Ravens just being prepared in their first 15. And that first, like I told some people in the space though, that first 15 is just it's so hard to game plan for that because you literally don't know what they're gonna run coming out. That's why you have to settle down in the game or whatever. But
that's where a good defensive coordinator, says, "Hey, we know what didn't work here. We'll take it into account and adjust accordingly." And that's exactly what he did. There's another good example, I should say, of the rush contain. A good job making sure he's not escaping out to the right and then can get back to the left. I think there's Jerry Tillery there doing a good job of getting him on the ground as well. This was Leo Chenal kind of pass rushing on the edge here. This one he end up getting contained because Charles Omenihu ended up getting braced down and Lamar ended up scrambling for that first down there on the edge. Leo, Bolton, and Tranquil all lined up. Leo trying to hold the guy off with one arm, which was hilarious. I'll say that to say the least. And again, Leo trying to make sure, hey, he doesn't get anywhere outside. Doing a good job, not over pursuing as well. The entire defense here. Just make sure, hey, we're not going to go for any hesitations. We're just going to make sure we hem into the sideline and get him out of bounds as well. Again, Leo doing a good job, and this is again
way to hold it for the whole.
This is a turnover that is created because Leo is in the right place at the right time as far as the quarterback spy is concerned. Obviously, Chris Jones causes the pass rush and the pressure that ultimately gets Lamar off the spot.
Hey, I know the Ravens fan hate right guard 77. He had a long day.
Yeah, for Lele.
This is so bad. Look at this play.
Yeah. My heart goes out to you, Ravens fans. I can understand why y'all don't.
Bro, I know they be mad.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord, Jesus!
Come here. I got to
get the bad. It's always bad as an offensive lineman when you get the double whammy. Not only did you get beat bad, but you also got the holding call on top of it, and then the fumble. But again, good job by Leo Chenal. Again, just flashing enough inside to cause him to go back outside, and he ends up hitting his offensive lineman and causes that fumble there, which honestly was a big play in the game at the time, unfortunately, which we won't necessarily hit on too much. But Harrison Butker continues to be an issue and continues to underperform where he should be, and that ended up being a 6-point swing where it should have been a good field goal, and honestly going into the half with an even bigger lead, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the lone negative from the day.
Yeah,
he got to be better. Got to fix it.
Leo again playing that kind of pseudo spy role, and that
the hustle George.
Good also by George, but again, hey, Leo's gonna kind of occupy that A gap and then back off and say, hey, I'm just going wherever Lamar goes, that's where I'm going. Hey,
who got the credit?
You going that way? Well, I'm going over here. Well, you going this way?
I'm
going over here.
Does that count as a sack?
For Karloftis, yeah.
It's probably a George sack.
Okay. So another one on the year for him too, as well. Shout out to Charles Domingue as well too.
Charles pushed the
playing a lot better these last couple of weeks. He's been,
it's a group effort, man. It's a group effort. Brick by brick, week by week, they're going to get better.
So the other part was just third down cut ups and talking about a little bit of the defensive line performance, and I'll let you kind of talk about it here, CJ, if you wanted to.
Sure. No, basically here is just I think Spags did a lot of job of like isolating guys he wanted to attack. We all know their right guard is a problem. So I think a lot of times he put guys on one-on-one coverage and kind of overloaded some blitzes. To DG's point, we did a good job of staying in our rush lane, staying in integrity. Outside of that run, and I think the one up the middle, Martin really take off for that many times. I know he finished like 40 yards with rushing. I think most of those were on 2 plays. So we did a great job of not necessarily sacking him all the time, but either A, making him get rid of the football, making him stay in his pocket. And like I said, again, he flushes. Anytime he gets pressure, he's always flushing to the right. It's never to his left. And Spags did a lot of the same things that other DCs have done, and that's when they force a lot of things to get turnovers. So outside of this play and that rush he had just 2 plays before, Lamar really didn't take off. And I know the last time we played him last year for the opener, he took off like 70-plus yards because a lot of his plays we weren't containing correctly. In this game, I think we did a way better job of that, like DG's point. Not trying to rush to get a sack. Just stay in your spot. He's going to come to you. And no play embodies that point more. I know we kind of say this over and over again than that Jerry Tillery sack he got in the first half. Lamar literally ran right to him, and he did nothing special except besides what, DG? Stay in your lane. Stay in his lane, and the player's going to come to you. So,
yeah, he's a special player for a reason, man. And you have to have special game plans put together for a guy like him. But I will say that he has flaws. He has things that he's not good at. And I think Spags just does a good job of exposing some of those flaws that he doesn't like to have to try to play through at this point. So shout out to Spags and that room, man. They were totally ready for this game.
And another stat I found today, we lead the league in cover 0 blitz. You could take that stat as you may. Maybe because we, A, need more juice from the pass rush down forward. We've said that. Or B, Spags trust guys like Noah Williams, Trent McDuffie, Jayla Watson to go out there and play good football and leave them on islands at times too. So do with that information what you will.
Yeah, and honestly, it's actually I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to end up doing a stay scheming about Noah Williams because I want to talk about his performance really through these first 4 weeks and what you saw versus the Ravens as well. But that was the whole game plan around being able to contain Lamar. A good job of having everybody rush together, hem him in, get him down on the ground when it happened, and good use of the linebackers as far as the spy aspect of it. So transitioning now, obviously you talked about certain guys requiring special game plans. This Jacksonville Jaguars team obviously does require its own game plan in of itself, playing on Monday night in Jacksonville. It'll be very interesting for me personally, and I'm going to ask you guys how you feel about the Jaguars in this aspect. They have been one of the leaders as far as forcing turnovers. They have been a good defense throughout the entirety of the year. Josh Hines-Allen is playing exceptionally well at the edge rusher position. Trayvon Walker looks like he's going to end up missing this game, though he's been playing well in the wrist injury. They've had secondary guys that have played well in that standpoint too. Their offense has been moving the ball well, more primarily on the ground than necessarily through the air, where they've had guys that can make plays. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. has not gotten off to the start that you would expect coming off of his rookie year. Travis Hunter obviously has been limited in his usage at wide receiver, but they've gotten good contributions from other guys like Diami Brown, like Brandon Strange, etc. So I see them as a nice control group to see where this team is at, because obviously Ravens, due to the Lamar Jackson factor and the Derrick Henry factor, is a very unique kind of game plan that you put out there on defense. And the Ravens defense already had their struggles on top of it. And so then, the combination of both of those things, like, all right, well, we'll see what the Chiefs really are. the Jaguars, in my opinion, are above average team that play the game in a more
ball control manner. Yeah.
Ball control manner, but a more standardized fashion, I should say more specifically. And they don't have significant weaknesses on the defense. So how the Chiefs offense is able to perform versus a good defense, how the Chiefs defense is going to perform versus a fine offense, particularly one that can run the ball, is going to be very fascinating to me. I think that you can get after them and rattle these guys, but I'm interested to see, how do you view the Jaguars as a team for the Chiefs to go after on Monday Night Football?
I mean, when you look at their coverage rate, just pulling up that chart that me and DMac were just referencing.
The heavy zone.
I mean, and rightfully so. When you have guys like Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, Devin Lloyd, who's been playing like an all-pro the first month of the season, their 30% coverage rate is cover 3, 24% cover 6, 13 in cover 4. To DMac's point, they play a lot of 2 deep high safeties, rightfully so, because they have a good front 4. Now that Trayvon Walker could possibly, with the wrist injury, more than likely going to miss this game, do you guys expect them to continue those things and play too high? Or with the performance you just saw from our offense, do you think we see more pressure this week from like a cover 1, cover 0 aspect? Or do you think they just stay back and say, hey, they have to prove to us they can run the football and matriculate the ball down the field, essentially? I think that's the game plan of what they're going to decide to do. Do we believe in Josh Allen and other guys, or do we believe we need to blitz to get more pressure on Pat?
Yeah. I think offensively you're going to have to be more ball controlled in this offense than you kind of were last week. Especially with them being able to force turnovers and force that issue at this point. So taking care of the ball is always a big emphasis, especially when you're on the road and it's in this type of environment. Jacksonville at night is going to be rocking. I already can tell that's a great.
Thank God it's game at night.
Yeah. Thank God it's at night too, because it's going to be scorching hot. I bet or whatever. But yeah. It's going to be a really tough road environment, so it's a real good litmus test to go down there and see where you are, see where your young guys in this offense are at this point. I'm glad that you're going into this game now with I won't say a healthy Xavier Worthy, but a more explosive weapon than you would normally have in your offense. But if they're going to try to take that away defensively, then your underneath stuff is going to have to be open. And I think this is one of those games where, Jags could look up and really try to, like I said, press the issue and take away Xavier Worthy. So Travis Kelce will have to be on this game, especially with the underneath and getting them to kind of come up and creep up. And then I think if you got a chance to take some shots there, then you go down the field and try to take those shots against Taekwon and those people like that, and try to press the issue and see if you can get any of their DBs in a kind of a bind or anything like that. Test the limits with them, see if any of their DBs will panic or anything like that. So it's going to be a really tough test for the Chiefs. And they got to be on their game, So hopefully have a good practice game plan this week and be ready to go down to Jacksonville and try to execute.
Based off who they've seen this week, I mean, they saw Joe Burrow for a half, so can't really critique that game too much when you saw Jake Browning come in after that. They saw C.J. Stroud struggling offensive line. I think he threw for like a little over 200 yards. They saw Brock Purdy in that offense. He threw for 300 yards. Obviously, they were moving the ball pretty frequently in the game, but they couldn't really punch the ball in the end zone and get points. This defense can be had. Obviously, they have some good guys in the back end, like DMac mentioned earlier, like Campbell and some other player that can make plays. Devin Lloyd is probably the star of his defense right now outside of Josh Allen. He's been playing crazy, getting his hands on turnovers, forcing balls to get on the ground, making good tackles, being well in coverage. It's going to be hard really to manipulate him, to move him off his spot. He's a very smart player. I think he's the guy that's probably one of my key players. We have to figure out a way to get him off his spot and get him off his game this week. To DJ's point, we have to run the football. That's going to help you play action, help him get out of those 2 high looks, roll that safety down, and you can attack him over the top with Taekwon and Worthy. So it all starts up front. We have to be able to run the football and establish a line of scrimmage. Will help us get more explosive plays this week. And this is a way better defense naturally than we saw last week, but we have to be able to run the ball and establish that up front. That'll help us be more explosive.
Yeah, and Devon Hamilton, Eric Armstead, there's some good interior defensive line talent there, to say the least. So it is going to be a challenge to run at them. But, of course, Trayvon Walker does look like he's going to be missing the game. We're going to see old friend Emmanuel Ogbah. And there's a chance, since Trayvon Walker is going to be missing the game, we may end up seeing old friend Colin Saunders get active for the first time all year. But we'll see what ends up happening, too.
Don't throw a pick to him.
Please, God, don't. Did I see that Devin Lloyd?
I never hear the end of it.
Did I see Devin Lloyd was hurt, or did I make that?
Oh, he's hurt. Oh, well, I thought he finished the game, but I thought he was.
He might have finished the game,
Yeah.
and he came back in. So
I know I did see the Trayvon Walker one. I did see that one.
Yeah, no, yeah. Walker looks like he's going to end up missing that as well. So I'll ask you guys this: matchups for each side of the ball versus Jacksonville. For me personally, I think you can get after their offensive line. I know they've been running the ball well. I still think that they're iffy on pass protection. So again, early down run defense is going to be a massive piece of what this is going to look like. We had some issues with that versus Derrick Henry. If you can have a better effort versus this Jags defense or Jags offense, you put them behind the sticks, then I think you have a really good chance of getting after them as well. Their passing offense hasn't been as consistent as you would expect as well. And then, as far as the Chiefs, offense, I should say, is concerned, in my opinion, when you're going to run that much zone, you can soften them up with some of the deep shots when they make sense, but it's going to be another quick passing. And like you said, CJ, run the ball type of game as well to be able to move the ball when they're going to run that level of zone. And then, hey, man, it's going to be Jawan Taylor had a really good game last week. Obviously, Josh Simmons has had a really good start to his career. Those guys are going to be challenged by Josh Hines-Allen the entirety of the day. So you have to have a plan in place to make sure you can mitigate his impact on it as well. DG and CJ, what are your matchup keys for the Jaguars here on Monday night?
Go ahead, sis.
No, a lot of the same things. Got to attack their weak points, not too many of them. But obviously, their secondary's been playing really good football this year. They don't give up many big plays. So this is going to be a big week for guys to be smart, sit in their zones, and make plays. So Juju going to be another active week for him. Ward is going to be all over the field per usual. But, again, it all starts up front. We have to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage and run the football to get them out of those too high looks. So I believe Pacheco and or Kareem have to have a big week this week because we have to move the ball off the line of scrimmage because Josh Allen's been playing like a monster. I know everybody talks about Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, and rightfully so. They're all pros, have been having a hell of a year. But Josh Allen this year has been Josh Hines-Allen, not the quarterback, the DN, has been playing just on the level of guys, if not better than some of those guys in points of time this year. So we have to get him off his game, not let him pin his ears back and pass rushes on third down. So the same way we're in the football under center this week, fellas, with that 6 lineman, I want to expect a lot of those things this week to move the line of scrimmage to keep us in those 2nd and 6, those 3rd and 4s, manageable plays to where we can be more explosive, more versatile in our play call. So offensively, definitely it all starts with the O-line and running the football this week. From a defensive standpoint, yeah, BTJ hasn't been having the year I thought he would. I thought he would take off and build on what he did last year, but him and Trevor haven't been as connected as I thought they would. BTJ's had some unfortunate drops, so he's been thinking about that. So maybe that'll be a chance for us to maybe get some turnovers this week. But yeah, the most explosive player in our offense this year has been Trevor Etienne. He's been playing like a man possessed. Obviously, we know he was in a contract year, a guy that wants some more money, and he was on the trade block a lot, and he's definitely playing like a guy that's pissed off. He's been running the ball very well. They've been doing a lot of heavy zone concepts, trying to get him on the edge with his speed. We've seen him before. We've seen him in the playoffs at home multiple times, so we kind of know what type of player he is. But he's definitely – the offense stops and starts with him as far as my eyes, what I've seen this year. And then they're going to take their shots to BTJ and Travis Hunter, of course. But Etienne is definitely the guy I think we have to worry about and put our eyes on this week. And we can stop the run game to DMac's point, keep him at 3rd and long, and then let our pass rush get to Trevor and force an interception, which that would probably be one of my best bets this week that Trevor Lawrence will throw an interception. He's still won every week this year. So
at any time, interception.
At any time, INT will
Trevor
probably be one of my
get
favorite bets. Trevor
gonna get you one.
And usually Sunshine, obviously, he hasn't played the best ball in the recent years of his career, but for him to average a pick a week has been very Geno Smith-ish. Yeah, I'm talking to you, DMac. I told you he was going to cash us out, and me and DG better get that money. But that's another point.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just like you said, CJ, just earning the right to pass rush. You got to be able to be indicative of stopping the run. Travis Etienne has obviously been playing lights out this year, especially early on. So if we can be able to stop the run, get them in some compromising positions in 3rd and long, and be able to get after that offensive line. This is the week for Charles Omenihu, George Karlaftis,
Omar, everybody.
Ashton Jelani, Omar. This is the week for you to be able to ping your ears back and get after the quarterback here. Of course, Trevor's got some athleticism in, but he's not the same escape artist or kind of elusiveness that Lamar Jackson is. So some of that integrity, you can throw a little bit of that out the window, a little bit, but not too much. but yeah, still be able to try to get after him. I think if they can be able to do that, then yeah, you force the issue in him having to do some things that he doesn't like to do, or giving you a couple easy, giving you a couple possessions as well too. Offensively, I think offensively, the Chiefs need to realize who they are and just continue to tap into their identity at this point in time. Continue to continue with the under center stuff. Continue to utilize your 6 offensive linemen, and continue to take care of the ball. They've done a really good job of doing that through these
Shout
first
out to
4
Pat.
weeks.
Sure.
Yeah, shout out to Pat for being really conscious of taking care of the ball and not giving extra possessions away. So I think as long as they can do that, man, you should be able to go down to Jacksonville on a Monday night and be able to pull out a win. It's going to be tough, but I think this is really a really good spot, especially with you being 2-2, of proving to yourself and to the NFL world of where this team really is, and still showing that you are a contender.
And not to look ahead, DG, but if you look at like the schedule, the way it's been made as far as like athleticism of quarterbacks we've seen, we went from Lamar Jackson to Trevor Lawrence to Jared Goff to Geno Smith, and then we kind of ramped back up to Jaden Daniels and then Josh Allen. So it's kind of like what DMac was just saying, when you go from like Lamar to Trevor, and then you said from Trevor to Jared, now we can kind of ramps back up the other way. So you're seeing all these different type of quarterbacks. So this is a week where your D lineman can get a little more aggressive in their pass rush, try to go get some sacks, and then even more so the weeks after that when you see guys like Jared Goff and Geno Smith for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's why I say it's a little bit of a control group to see how they end up responding to this type of challenge that is a good challenge in my personal opinion, but a more standardized one that they can prepare for in a certain way, to say the least. And look, Cohen's been really good at getting these guys in space, specifically as playmakers, obviously Etienne being chief among them. They've got to prepare to be able to tackle on a consistent basis and, be able to rally to the football. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the tell true trifecta. Obviously, last week we did cash on Juju's yards and Lamar Jackson anytime interception. I think what was the third one we missed, unfortunately?
It was Zay's reception.
They
bumped his line down. It was 5.5 on the day we talked, and they bumped it down to 4. Some scary ass.
And he ended up having 7 for 72. Yeah, I think ultimately was his ending line as well. So you guys got a trifecta for this game for the Jaguars?
Oh, I know mine. Xavier Worthy anytime touchdown. He's scoring this week. Should have scored this past week, but that's mine.
Yeah. I'll go. Let's see. Damn, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'll say I'm pretty sure that the over is gonna be 1.5 for passing touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
So I'll probably take the over on passing touchdowns.
Okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that play at all.
I like it. 4 last week.
I can't actually find any lines for this game, but in my personal opinion, when you're talking about the zone concepts that I believe that they're going to run, I'm going to take the over on Juju Smith-Schuster's yards. I think this is a good game for him to be able to take advantage, I should say, of some of the zone concepts from the Jaguars as well. And especially the way that they kind of like to get physical. I think being able to fit the ball into him with his short hands is going to be something that Mahomes does lean on. So with that being said, give me one X factor and, of course, your game pick.
X factor. X factor this week. I don't know.
Tough call.
Yeah.
I'll say my X factor personally. I'll actually go with Jawan Taylor in his homecoming.
It's a good game for him.
I believe Josh Simmons will have a good game. That's where we're at with him. How good
as we should be.
So I believe he'll have a good game. If Jawan can repeat that performance that he had versus the Ravens, in my opinion, that would be a really good thing to be able to say. And then I think this offensive line will be in a good position from that perspective. And if Mahomes is comfortable, then I think he can pick apart the zone coverage from the Jaguars, in my opinion. They have faced the Panthers, which is bad quarterback, bad offensive line.
Ratio.
The Bengals, Jake Browning, bad quarterback, bad offensive
The
line.
Texans.
The Texans, which is good quarterback, bad offensive line. And then who was the other team that they faced? The 49ers.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, in my opinion, was bad, and he also lost some arm strength in that aspect. And also the 49ers don't have a good offensive line because Trent Williams is washed. So I would go that I think if the offensive line shows up, Patrick Mahomes will also show up and get the job done. And so that's my X factor is Jawan Taylor. Go ahead, CJ. Oh, and then sorry, my game pick. Chiefs 28. Yeah, Chiefs 28, Jaguars 20.
I'm going to go. My defensive X factor will be, I'm going to go Nick Bolton. It's going to be a big week for him. I expect them to give Etienne the ball early and often to get him going. That's been the strength of their offense. He's been the engine for them. So we stop him, earn the right to rush like DG just stated on third down. So Nick Bolton have another big week. Obviously having to stop Derrick Henry in the run game. Now you got to stop Etienne in this run game. They're going to lean on him heavy. That's my X factor. And then my game pick will be, we just put up 37. A little bit better secondary. Chiefs 27. Jaguars 23.
Yeah.
Force a lot of field goals.
X factor for me this week, I think it's George Karlaftis. Obviously been ramping up a lot more, being able to get pressure. I think he was tops in the league in pressures as well too.
So far.
So I do think this is one of those games where I'm going to say this, and if George Karlaftis is listening, you can get a little antsy this week, a little bit out of place this week, just because I don't think, like I said, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the runner or has the exclusiveness as of Lamar Jackson, so you can get a little bit of the arc a little bit more this week. Or whatever, and be able to get after Trevor Lawrence. I think that George could end up. This could be one of those games where it's a multiple sack game for him. So I'll go with George. Game pick. Last couple weeks I've just been saying just win because at this point that's all I really been wanting them to do. I didn't even care how it looked. I'll say Chiefs. 27 Chiefs 27-23.
Double down, DG. Double down.
I feel it. So with that being said, we do have our first edition of the Power Rankings, given the fact that we are now a month into this. I'll allow you guys just to kind of start out.
We made it.
Number one, there are only two undefeated teams, the Bills and the Eagles. I don't know if you guys have a preference for either one of those to put them up there.
Either one.
I've been putting the Eagles
with the
1-2. Don't matter.
Yeah, Eagles putting the Eagles. Just
they've been the
finding when you're defending champions, you've been finding ways to win. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's funny how last year, everybody got.
You can win ugly, and it's okay now.
Yeah, for us, we're winning close games, but the Eagles do it. And all of a sudden, they're this great team.
They're finding ways. They're championship pedigree.
Championship pedigree. Nah, man. Credit to them, man. They've been finding ways to win, and I can't.
Yeah, and I would say the fact that they've been finding ways to win, and better versus good competition, even all things considered. But the Cowboys are no pushover for all things that they've even gone through. Obviously, like the Rams, I think are a very good team. They were able to come back on them. They staved off the Bucs comeback, who we think are a playoff team. And who was the other team that they beat this year? Somebody bad, I think it was. Oh, it was us. I got ass. And then obviously the us versus us as well. So yeah, and the Bills haven't played anybody. Yeah, and you want to say the Ravens? Fine. It was a close game up to the end. They struggled with the Dolphins. They killed the Jets, and it is what it is. So the Bills haven't impressed me, but they are 4-0. They deserve to be number 2. Number 3, I would personally go Rams.
Yeah.
Or Lions. You can go either one, but I'd personally go Rams.
I think Rams.
I'm going to go Lions. I got Lions here, but y'all got the majority, so we go here.
think Rams have been impressive.
Yeah, number 5 gets a little bit of wonky. Personally, I would go Packers or Chiefs. I don't know if you guys have a preference between that at number 5.
I mean, the Packers' one good win was against who?
Lions.
Yeah. Our good win was against the Ravens, so which win do we think is better?
Probably
Lions.
So we can go Packers.
Go
Packers.
Packers 6. I'm cool with that.
6 Chiefs, 7.
This Bucks area? I know they lost to the Eagles, but
it's not. I wouldn't consider
not a
that a
bad
bad
loss.
loss.
Yeah.
Are we dropping the Chargers out of?
Well, that's what I was. That was the other one that I was going to bring up.
That is a bad. Yeah, they should have beat the. I mean, well, you lost Joe Alt, but yeah.
Should beat the Giants
still.
I would think they would beat.
It's also going to be a problem moving forward. To be fair,
no, for sure. No Slater, no Alt. That's a bit, and no Khalil Mack. Trench is looking a little light for them. So.
Yeah, I mean that's tough.
So them or the Bucks right here. Ugh.
I'll say Bucks.
I go Bucks.
Bucks.
They almost came back and beat the Eagles with no Mike Evans. Yeah, I'll give them that.
I mean, it's a better loss. Bucks,
better loss for sure.
You got the Chargers, Colts, Seahawks, different options. Out of those guys, I'd probably
say Chargers.
Chargers, then Colts, I guess.
Chargers, Colts, Seahawks. I mean, I don't really believe in the Seahawks personally, but they've been a solid team. And you got to give them credit for that.
They've been winning.
So, Seahawks, Steelers, Niners, Broncos, Jags.
I say Steelers.
Steelers.
That was a really impressive win over the Vikings.
They beat the Vikings pretty handily.
Okay, we'll go Steelers. So that'll be the top 10 of the power rankings: Eagles, Bills, Rams, Lions, Packers, Chiefs, Bucks, Chargers, Colts, Steelers. As the first edition of Tell True Power Rankings for 2025 as well. And then we have our favorite segment, later rests. Before I go to the one that I had queued up, do you guys have anybody specifically that you want to lay to rest, or a team that you want to lay to rest?
I got a player.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, DJ.
Well, I got 2 players.
Oh, 2
He
players.
said, I got 2 players.
Go ahead. Actually, let me go ahead. Let me get out your way, brother. Go ahead, DG.
That generational linebacker, that all-pro linebacker in Baltimore. You're a bum. Okay? You suck. You're a bum. And I don't care what anybody said. You quit. You left the game. You ran when the questions was trying to be answered.
That was very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah. We heard about you in the locker room.
So you can't talk to him?
You and that other. And then let me get to the other one. Dear Marlon Humphrey, a.k.a. Marshmallow. You're a bum. You're a bum. And the reason why I call you Marshmallow because you're soft and you got roasted. I pray, and I think I did see, you were on that podcast this week, and I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch it, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it because you suck. You're terrible. And I can't wait to see you leave the league because there's no reason why you should be even getting considered to be on the top 100 list or even an all-pro at this point because you suck. You're terrible. So they gave you life. Sayonara to both of you. Sayonara to that generational defense that they called out in the offseason in Baltimore. Y'all were hyped up. Oh, we got Lamar. We got Malachi Starks. We got Kyle Hamilton.
We got Jair
Alexander. Oh, where were they? They were all on the sidelines. Everybody was watching.
They're all cooked.
Your best ability is your availability, and y'all weren't available. They gave you life. Bums.
Sayonara.
So that was fun. Funny enough, I will say this. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I'm going to say the Baltimore Ravens, we're going to have to lay to rest. And this is going to seem premature. I understand why this is going to seem premature. And I said this before. I didn't think that going to 1-3 was going to be a death nail for either one of these two teams personally. But Lamar Jackson going to be out for, it seems like 1, maybe 2 weeks. They've got the Texans coming up and the Rams, and you're facing 1-5 trying to make it back into the playoff picture at that point. I'm sorry. I personally don't see it. So Baltimore Ravens, I hate to say it, but we're laying you to rest.
They gave you life. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
They gave you life.
Hey, we got good and bad news. They gave you life. Sayonara.
Sorry to say it, Ravens. Destroyed by the Chiefs and laid to rest, in my personal opinion. I don't think that they're going to be able to recover from the 1-5 start after Lamar Jackson misses one of these next two games. And honestly, the fact that he's out on Sunday versus the Texans, I think will ultimately be the death.
Y'all really think?
What's their schedule again? It's the Texans. Who else? It's Texans and who else?
And the Rams.
Texans and Rams.
So even
They definitely not beating the Rams. That's
what I'm saying. Even if he comes back versus the Rams, I think
they're not beating the Rams.
They are
not with Cooper Rush. Hell no.
Even
the Bears too.
That's what I'm saying.
Even with Lamar,
Bears had
it goes Texans, Rams, then Bears, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The only one I would even give them a slight opportunity would be the Texans, just because their offense has been abysmal. But I don't see how they win any of those games because their defense has been so awful. The only equalizer that they had was their offense. So if Lamar's not there, that Texas defense with no Lamar, they're going to feast all over them.
And look, they've got a bye week, so at least that's a saving grace in between the Rams and the Bears. So maybe Lamar can get back after that. But still, I'm sorry. You go down 1-5, I think that's going to be a wrap. And that's if you come out of the bye week with Lamar Jackson. And I still think that the Bears have a good shot again after that defense, to say the least, and putting some stuff together there. And obviously, you got some easy games. You got at Miami, at Cleveland, Jets, Cincinnati at home. But you still got to play Pittsburgh twice. You still got to go to Cincinnati in December. Maybe Joe Burrow is back for that game. We'll see. You still got to go to Minnesota as well. You got to host New England later on. Still got to go to Green Bay too. So I don't. You go 1-5 to try and make the playoffs. You realistically got to win what is that? 10, 9 out of those last games. I don't think you find
you know what it's like to go 1-5. They have to fight back from that. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
Good
it
luck.
ain't easy at all.
Not when you 1-5, boy.
No.
Every week, every game's a must win at that point.
I'm sorry. You split the Chicago Minnesota games. That's 6. You split with Pittsburgh. That's 7. You split with Cincinnati. That's 8. And then you split with New England and Green Bay. That's 9. That's just saying split with those teams. So I don't see it for the Ravens this season. I think this is going to be a lost season of a bad defense and Lamar Jackson injuries that will doom them as far as this is concerned. Chuck says that the window is officially closed.
And the crazy thing is, before the season, we all laughed. The Steelers have a legit shot to win the division now. Crazy.
They should be the overwhelming favorites at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like Joe Burrow hurt and Lamar hurt. All that. Now Matt BK out for the year. It's like the path for the Steelers to win the division for the first time in a while is very clear.
Wide open, which is, and it's crazy. We obviously came into this year and saying, so who's going to end up missing, or I should say not winning the division in the AFC, because it felt like it was clear. Hey, we had question marks about the Colts and the Jags. The point was like, all right, Texans should be favored in the South. Obviously, we know the Bills are going to handle it out west, and Chiefs deserve to be favorites or I should say Bills handle it in the East. Chiefs deserve to be favorites in the West, and the Ravens are assumed to be favorites in the North. And just not how it ended up working out. Looks like it is
10 first seed injuries, man. And give Daniel Jones his credit. I did not think he played as well at the beginning of the season. That was my only question about the roster. That's why when DG was saying which team that can go from worst to first, I said it should be the Colts, but I'm not trusting them because I can't trust Daniel Jones. But he's proved me wrong, so he shut me up. So
the Titans were worse, though. To be fair,
I mean, I loved everything about the Colts roster. I just couldn't trust Daniel Jones to play good football for a month, and so far he's done that. So
absolutely, shout out to Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah.
The
injury sucks, but
yeah. Wait, thank you for coming back to that starter question. Definitely, first ballot Hall of Famer, and
finished his career. Does everything right.
We were not going to lay Tyreek Hill to rest. That is terrible injury.
Hate to see the injury. Hope he come back healthy.
That knee dislocation is incredibly scary to have that happen. So wish him a speedy recovery. Obviously, had surgery earlier today. And he was somebody that I was in favor of bringing back if he was going to be cheap, in free agency after this year in which he was cut. So, and that's still possible if he ends up working his way back from that injury. There's no guarantee of, unfortunately, doing that at his age and how devastating that injury can be. But terrible to see that last night in which he was having a solid enough game. And wish
he was having a good game too, boy, man.
Yeah, but first ballot Hall of Famer, it's very difficult to do that at the wide receiver position.
Facts, because they make a lot of guys wait.
I'm going to say no, but should be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah.
definitely think he's a Hall of Famer, for sure. I personally, I don't think he's done yet. I know a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I think he'll come back. Yeah.
Cooked and and it was kind of disgusting seeing.
Internet's a nasty place.
Yeah, bro. The internet's such a nasty place, dog. I understand Tyreek hasn't been, one of the better role models in this game or whatever. I like to leave people's personal lives as their personal life. I don't know what's going on in his relationships or whatever, anything like that. I just know the type of player he is on the field. I know he gives it his all. Yeah, talks trash to here and there and things of that nature. But I definitely want to see him come back and ball out on the field. So I don't think he's done. I think this only motivates him. Sometimes God takes you through certain things to humble you and teach you, where you need to be. And hopefully this is one of those times for him where he learns a lot about himself and comes back even better.
Facts. I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer either, but does he get in? Absolutely. So, but no, definitely shout out to Tyreek. Everything you did for the city, we always appreciate you as a player. Definitely prayers and a speedy recovery. Hope he comes back healthy and well. The league is better when Tyreek Hill's on the field. Never want to see injuries at all to any player. So hopefully a speedy recovery. Hopefully he comes back as soon as possible. Next year, I know his goal days to be there for week 1. So hopefully he does. Just want to see him back on the field, be healthy, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So with that being said, I think we've wrapped everything up as far as Tell the Truth is done for this week. Really fun to have us back on the winning side of things. Obviously, winning streak on 2. Hope we can keep the momentum going into Monday Night Football versus what will be I'm sure a rocking Jacksonville Jaguars crowd. Obviously, they are 3-1, and honestly, they're tied for top of the division right now. And looking to try and keep it going. And they'll be wearing their very sweet throwback uniforms to go up against as well. Underdog Fantasy, use code TRUTH, $300 deposit match for new users as well. Always make sure you guys are checking back. MLB playoffs popping off now. WNBA playoffs coming into their final week, or I should say their final few weeks. Obviously, basketball is back soon, and NFL, college football in the swing of things, always giving out free plays. Make sure you guys get over to Underdog Fantasy as well. And, of course, Wings of Things Game Day Box will be on Monday this time. Make sure you guys go ahead and swing by and get your Game Day Box and get that deal too. Anything, guys, before we go ahead and get on out of here?
Nah, man. Swing by Wings and Things, man. 5,800 troops, man.
Go get you some wings, man. If you want to make some cash,
cash,
come fuck with us at Bet the House, man. Y'all know where to find
Yeah.
me. Hit DG, hit DMac, hit Country, hit Chuck. If you want to make some cash, you tired of losing them slips, you tired of having one off on your bet,
Hit on some-
come
hit
holler
on
at
some
your boy, man.
baseball.
Bet the House. I got you. I'm going to get you right. You feel me?
Hit on some baseball plays today,
Know what I'm
man.
saying?
We've been cooking up for the NFL season.
DG hit a parlay today, and he ain't even sent it to me. And he cashed that mother. I was mad. I'm like, dang, DG, could have sent that bitch to me. I would have tailed that motherfucker.
I came over with it at work. It was the last. I was like, let me.
DG was
I
like,
knew the game.
going hit. I'm like, damn, that bitch green.
You're right.
That was nice.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow, Red Shirt Podcast is back too, talking about the college football playoffs. Tap in for us for that. We will be predicting the season on to the college football playoffs, man. So yeah, come out. I'm out here gatekeeping my bag. I start sending my plays. Every time I send my plays, bro, them joints don't hit, bro. And I be
send it to me. I make sure the motherfuckers hit. Send it to me.
All right, I got you for sure.
Absolutely, man. So make sure you guys tap in to Bet the House Sportsbook on Discord. With that being said, man, love you guys. Go Chiefs. Peace out.